My family has this thing called the gift, or the curse, or whatever, but we have a thing where ghosts attach themselves to us and follow us, but some just come with the package. The house on 11th Street. That house was beautiful. It was all wood floors, 3 rooms, and it had pure white walls. Now when I walked in, I knew something was off immediately, but I chose to ignore it and start moving in. The house was okay when it came to room size, but it was better than the other houses we checked, and it was an older and smaller Victorian house. It was built in, I think, the 50s, and it has a really negative past. But it didn't start showing us it until my sister and her cousin decided to go into the attic almost half a year after moving in, and they looked through it. And right there, that's when it all started. What started happening was that there were small knocks and the sound of footsteps and the sound of a chain clinking in the bathtub. About a year later, things started to calm down and we almost forgot about the paranormal happenings in that house. But my sister came to me talking about a little shadow boy, and me being me, I said, "There isn't any little shadow boy here." And that same night, I saw a little shadow boy run from the bathroom, and from what my mom's ex said, it ran straight into the basement. I didn't dare chase it into the basement, so I chose to forget about it. God, I was only 11, so why would I need to think of something that wasn't flesh and bones? Sooner or later, there was the touching and pulling of hair that made me put a cross above my door. It was a small silver one that had pretty doves on it. Something in that room did not like that, so every time I came home from school, I came to see it upside down. By the time the activity got worse, it was the second going on 3rd year we were living in that house. It came to where I woke up one night and I was being choked. I felt the hands around my throat and it felt bony and hot like it was summer, but the house was cold. So why was I not only suffocating but also hot? My mom's ex came running into the room and tried to shake me. I closed my eyes and started to pray, and as fast as it was going on, it was over. I looked at my neck the next morning and there was the bony shape of fingers, and it was horrible. That's when I started looking into the history myself. I was 12, so I couldn't do much but ask my neighbors. They told me that there were 2 tragedies in that house. One was of a family. They told me that there were 2 tragedies in that house. One was of a family. There was a woman and her parents who lived in that house, and the woman had a son whose father ran off, and she found it easier to live with her parents than just by herself. One fatal night, a burglar broke in and killed her mom, her dad, and her son. She was the only one to survive. They say she was admitted to a state hospital, but nobody knows for sure what happened to her. Now the second set was an older couple. The wife of the man that lived there came down with a bad cold, and soon enough she passed away while he was at home. Now they say he passed away from a broken heart, or he committed suicide. I couldn't find a really clear ending on that one. There was also a few incidents where kids would break in the house since it was empty for almost 20+ years and performed satanic rituals, and that is probably where the demon came from. And they said that the rituals were performed in the attic in my room. Now, after learning all this information, I refused to go to the 1st floor at night because I never knew what would happen to me if I did. But I was forced to because my mom wanted the leftover ribs in the kitchen and she wouldn't take a no for an answer. So it was in the winter and I had red thigh-high socks on and my pajama shorts and a simple night tee and sweater. The house was always oddly cold on the bottom half, like something never wanted the heat to reach there. I carefully took each step carefully and climbed down to the kitchen. As I was down there, I felt the similar feel of somebody watching me, and I turned to see nothing but darkness. So I instantly turned on the light, and all I could hear was silence. I ran into the kitchen. Mind you, my socks have sticky grooves on them, so I couldn't slip even if I tried to. I looked in the fridge and saw the ribs and grabbed them out. I put the microwave on and waited until I heard the beep, beep, beep. I took it out and turned off the lights as I went and started to walk back up the stairs. Now, previously about 3 to 4 months prior, I had surgery on my hip, and it healed up. But if I fell, it was a major thing because the injury was that bad. As I climbed, I felt something grab my ankles and pull my feet from under me. I was literally being dragged back down. I let out a blood-curdling scream and I hit my chin and I dropped the plate. My mom came running to see me on the stairs, too shocked to cry, and she said, "What happened?" I didn't want to talk about it. I didn't want to cause her to think I was hallucinating off the pain meds I was taking off and on for the pain. When I walked, no more like limped, into my room, I took off my socks and saw the same bony fingerprints around my ankles. I knew then I had to tell my mom, but I didn't know when. By the time I told her we were already moving away, she decided that with what was going on with our personal lives, we should move somewhere where we would have a very private life. But when we were leaving, I was taking a box out of the basement and a huge piece of wall came tumbling down and almost hit me in the head. I left that box there and never returned to retrieve it, and I don't have the intentions to. The house is now abandoned and has not been restored, and nobody has lived in it for now almost 5 years. It now sits there decaying like its past, decomposing with whatever evil lies within it.